You sit down to work. You have one thing to do. And somehow, 40 minutes later, you've read a Reddit thread about medieval bread, watched half a video about aquarium fish, and opened a new tab that you immediately forgot the purpose of. You're not lazy. You're not broken, but something is wrong, and nobody is being honest with you about what it actually is. Today we're going to talk about brain fog, not the watered-down version where someone tells you to drink more water and go to bed at 9 p.m. I mean the real thing, why your brain actively resists the work you're trying to do, and why the standard advice makes it worse. There's a reason this keeps happening to you, and it has everything to do with 4 things: perception, positioning, psychology, and behavior patterns. Stick with me because by the end of this, you're going to see your own brain differently. Here's what most people think brain fog is: tiredness, bad diet, stress, and sure, those things contribute. But brain fog isn't just about being tired. It's your brain entering a kind of conservation mode, and it does this for a very specific reason. Think of your brain as a city's power grid. When demand spikes, stress, decision fatigue, too much incoming information, the grid dims non-essential services. And what gets dimmed first? Executive function? The prefrontal cortex. The part of your brain responsible for planning, prioritizing, and doing the hard thing instead of the easy thing. So when you can't focus, your brain isn't failing you. It's actually doing exactly what it's designed to do. It's rationing energy. The problem is, the modern world keeps sending your grid into overdrive. All day, every single day. Your phone buzzes 80 times a day on average. Every notification is a tiny decision. Every tiny decision costs you. By noon, you've burned through a significant portion of your daily cognitive budget, and you haven't even started the thing that actually matters. This is not a motivation problem. This is a resource problem. And once you understand that, everything else starts to make sense. Let's talk about perception. And I don't mean this in a motivational poster kind of way. I mean the literal, neurological way your brain decides what is real and what matters. There's a well-known phenomenon in neuroscience called attentional bias. Your brain, at any given moment, is receiving about 11 million bits of information per second. It consciously processes around 50 out of 11 million. That means your brain is making a constant editorial decision about what gets through, and it's heavily biased toward threat, toward novelty, and toward unresolved loops. That last one is critical. There's something called the Zygarnik effect. It was discovered by a Soviet psychologist named Bluma Zygarnik in the 1920s. And it says this: your brain holds onto unfinished tasks with a vice grip. It keeps them active in working memory, humming in the background, pulling at your attention until they're done. So here's the thing. Every open tab, metaphorical or literal, is costing you focus. The email you didn't reply to, the project you said you'd start Monday, the conversation you're dreading. Your brain won't let those go. It keeps the file open. It keeps spinning. You can't focus because your brain doesn't believe there's room to focus. It's too busy guarding all the open loops. The enemy of focus isn't distraction. It's incompletion. Now, let's talk about positioning. And again, not in the marketing sense. I mean how you've positioned yourself in your environment, your schedule, and your daily context. Researchers at the University of California found that after a single interruption, it takes an average of 23 minutes to return to the original task. 23 minutes, and most of us are getting interrupted every 5 to 10. That math is brutal. You're never actually getting into deep focus at all. You're just surfing the shallow end of your own attention all day, wondering why you feel exhausted but unproductive. But here's the positioning piece that nobody talks about. It's not just the interruptions themselves, it's where you've physically and mentally placed yourself relative to the work. If you try to do your most demanding work in the same environment where you scroll and relax, your brain gets confused. You've trained it to associate that space with low-effort stimulation. So when you open the laptop at the kitchen table, your brain goes, "Oh, we're doing the easy thing now," and it resists the hard thing accordingly. This isn't willpower. This is classical conditioning. Your brain is Pavlov's dog, and you've been ringing the wrong bells. Positioning is about placing friction between yourself and distraction and removing friction between yourself and the work. Most people have this completely backwards. I want to say something that might annoy some people. Willpower is not the answer. The self-help industry has spent decades selling you the idea that if you just wanted it more, tried harder, woke up earlier, got more disciplined, you'd be able to focus. And maybe a tiny part of you still believes that your inability to focus is a character flaw. It's not. And here's the psychology that proves it. There's a concept called ego depletion, studied extensively by psychologist Roy Baumeister. The research shows that self-control draws on a limited mental resource. Every time you resist a distraction, make a decision, Suppress an impulse you spend from that resource, and once it's spent, your ability to resist the next temptation plummets. This is why your diet is perfect until 9 p.m., why you answer every email before noon and then spend the afternoon on YouTube. Your psychological fuel ran out, and willpower couldn't carry you across the gap. The fix isn't more willpower. The fix is structuring your life so you need less of it. Stop fighting your own brain on its terms. Change the terms. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. That's not a motivational quote. That's a neurological fact.